everybody, I'm back with another race. My first cyclocross race ever. Mansfield Hollow CX, Mansfield Center, Connecticut. Lined up second row on the grid. So got a pretty decent start already. Looks like I'm in about 8th place right off the bat here. I think it was a field of about 20 to 25 riders. So pretty good turnout. I did have a chance to pre-ride the course before the race, so that was really helpful in figuring out what I was getting myself into. Most of my experience has been in road and crit races, so this off-road stuff is brand new. I'm just trying it out, seeing what I can do. We're gonna go ahead and just watch this whole first lap, and then I'll skip through some of the second and third lap. But it's a pretty fun course. A bunch of corners, go through the woods a couple times. Got a couple barrier sections. No sand on this cyclocross course, so that was kind of nice, but at this point, I don't want to do anything too crazy. I'm still figuring out the course, figuring out the bike, learning how to ride and race on this sort of terrain. But I'm feeling good, so I do, as I see gaps, try to pass a couple people, close down the gaps, as long as I've got the energy to do that. So you can see this guy that I'm following right now, there's quite a big gap in front of him. So I'm thinking about passing him as soon as I can find the opportunity to do so. I know that after these turns by the lake here, there's a fairly long straightaway section. I know I have some good speed on that from road riding and road racing, so I figure I can go ahead and go for the pass there and make up some time on the gap to the front group. So right here we've got kind of a long straightaway section, fairly good surface. So I usually pass that guy and work my way up to this next group here. Which now puts me into 4th place. And now that's 3rd place. No, actually that's 4th place. There's one rider with a gap further up. And then these 2 riders that I'm following, so 4th place right now. You can see on the left there, the field is already pretty strung out. Lots of gaps, lots of delays to riders behind. So we've got the set of barriers here, pretty typical obstacle and cyclocross. If you're really good, you can jump it with the bike, but most people will hop off and run across. I was pretty quick through there, surprisingly, for having very little practice in it, but I was able to make another pass there, putting me up into 3rd place now. I had trouble on this corner here pretty much every lap, taking it too wide, going into those leaves. Handling sharp corners like that on leaves and dirt isn't really something I'm used to doing from racing on the road and racing crits. We've got some downhill here, a couple tight bends, and then we work our way back uphill. Once we come out of this uphill, we've got a sharp, two sharp drops after this left-hand turn. And then we work our way through this grassland again for a little bit. The men's Category 5 race was the first one of the day, the first one in the morning, so the grass was still fairly wet and dewy, but grip wasn't too bad overall. Fairly open course, plenty of spots for passing people and making up lost time if need be. Now we're working into another slight uphill section. Gonna make a right turn after this tree into kind of an off camber a little bit, and then a sharp left into a steep uphill. I was able to ride it, but a lot of people did have to hop off and run up this. And then a set of steps here. See, I'm getting past there, back into 4th place. But this front group of 4, including myself, is pretty close together. And now we make our way back into a second wooded section here. My handling skills through the woods weren't as great as some of these other guys, but I was definitely able to make up time and space on these straightaways. So the start of the first lap started just a little bit into the lap. So we technically just crossed the finish line a little bit back there, but we still have this couple turns and another off-camber section before we get back to the place where we rolled out from. This off-camber section right here, fortunately there was sort of a line to follow, but if you got off that line, it's kind of tricky to keep the bike upright. So here we are back from where we started from into the second lap now. And this is where you're going to see a guy on the right there, comes flying by. chase right away. I want to let these two guys in front of me do the work. Again, since this is my first cyclocross race, I don't know what my stamina is going to be, how long it's going to last, but here we are. I skipped ahead some. Basically stayed this pretty same setup through the first half of that second lap. You can see we skipped fairly far ahead here. We're kind of just all staying together, staying on each other's wheels. But coming through the pit area in the second lap, starting to see a little bit of a gap between the second and third rider. So I decided to make my move and close that down. Coming into these barriers again. And then back into the first wooded section of the second lap.
Damn it.
Alright, so we made it through the wooded section, through that uphill, a couple of sharp downhills. Now we're back into this almost run-up hill here, and this is where the guy directly in front of me right here loses at the very top. I'm able to make the pass. This puts me into second place, and basically this is where I stay for the rest of the race. I get up to this guy on the front wheel a couple times, but eventually he really turns it up and not really able to catch him for the rest of the race. But you can see here we're coming into the end of that second lap. You can hear the bell. Third lap, final lap. At this point, I'm really starting to feel the energy expended in the first half, 2/3 of the race. I'm pretty sure, even if I catch this rider in front of me, he's probably got better energy than I do. Even if I were to pass him, he'd probably pass me before the end again. So at this point, I'm just trying to maintain my gap to the person behind me. I want to hold that second place, at least get a podium spot out of this race. You can see I kind of missed that line on the off camber. Was able to recover. Skipping ahead here, you can see that rider on the right hand side of the screen that just went by. That's my gap to him. I've got probably like a 5-10 second gap at least. Pretty good space, but I just want to make sure I maintain that. Don't make any mistakes. I'm gonna ride it safe. You can see this first place rider is getting even further ahead. We're back on the straightaway where I feel pretty confident, so I'm going to go ahead and try to at least close this down some. I don't want him to get too far away. And like I said before, I need to maintain that gap to the rider behind me. This rider in front of me is looking very comfortable, seems well within himself. I'm, just racing for second place at this point.
Number 371, Steven Savino, in pace by 385, Logan Evans.
There you saw the rider behind me again on the left there. So still have a decent gap to him. I'm not too worried about it. I just need to maintain what I've got and ride safe. Don't make any mistakes. If I try to push it too much and crash or something, I can easily lose that gap to him and lose position. That's especially the concern I'm thinking about coming into this first wooded section where I've had issues before, just trying to maintain the bike upright.
Come on. Oh,
So through that grassy section, back up the run up, the off camber, he pretty much maintains his gap away from me. Maybe pulls it out a little bit. So here we are skipping forward through the second wooded section, lap 3, final lap. Pretty much once I come out of this wooded section, just straight away to the finish line. So you can hear me just hyping myself up here, just trying to not crash, play it safe, make sure I can get all the way to the finish line holding this second place.
Number 385 is taking it, that's Logan Evans.
And that's it, that's the race. My first cyclocross race, got on the podium, second place, pretty happy with that, and ready to do more. Thanks for watching.